Hello there, this is Cheryl from the Made on Sunday studio. We talk all about branding, design, and creative entrepreneurship on this channel. So if those are topics of interest to you, then remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get more videos on this topic. All right, do we have a juicy video for you today? So to give you a bit of context, I have been running my business. I started my business on October of 2019 when I moved to Amsterdam from my hometown in Vancouver, Canada. So it's been just over 2 years now of running this business full-time as an entrepreneur for the first time. Now, even though I did go to business school in university when I graduated and in my internship, I probably worked in the corporate world for over 8 years before I actually decided to quit and start my own business. So being wrapped up in the corporate world for so long, I was super cognizant of, finances and numbers and basically just tracking everything in my life. So when I started my business, I knew it was even more important that I track it because I was now spending my own personal money. I was always used to spending these like tens and thousands of dollar marketing budgets, being a brand manager in that big company that I worked for. And because of that, I knew that transitioning into being this small business owner, this entrepreneur that's first starting out, it was incredibly important for me to be mindful of all of my expenses and keep those expenses down. So in today's video, I'm going to be opening up my books, sort of, and showing you what my monthly expenses are as a 2-year-old graphic designer, business owner who also has a YouTube channel on the side, and kind of showcase what a typical business owner might have as expenses every month. I'm also going to be showing you tips on how to bring some of those costs and expenses down, because as a new entrepreneur, as a small business owner, those dollars really add up over time. A couple dollars saved a month can add up to hundreds of dollars at the end of the year. So I'm going to be going over my expenses and just showing you ways to save. All right, let's get right into it. All right, so monthly expenses. Let's go through this line by line. So first up, I have Wandering Aimfully. You're like, what is that? That's actually the coaches that I subscribe to. So right now I do pay in a monthly subscription kind of format, but this subscription doesn't go on forever. So I pay a certain amount. I think the whole program is $2,000, and then I can pay the $2,000 every month. It's $100 a month until I get to the 2,000. So, if you're wondering about my business coaches, I have a couple of videos about how to pick your own business coach, as well as my review of my coaches at Wandering Aimfully. I love them, and I am so happy to pay them $100 a month because they constantly come out with new content every month, and there's live coaching every month. So super worth it. I pay $100 a month there. My Adobe Creative Cloud subscription. So this subscription allows me to get access to all of the softwares: Illustrator, XD, Photoshop, Lightroom, Premiere Pro, which I use for editing these videos right here. And you're probably wondering, like, how did you get it for $20? I'm on the student plan. My student email address that I had from university still works. So I just signed up with my student email, and I got into the student plan, and I saved I think I saved probably $40 a month using my student plan. So you should look into that if you still have a student email address. All right, so next up is, by the way, I love the Adobe Suite. So I highly recommend, even if you have to pay full price, I would still pay for it. It's just that why wouldn't I save $40 a month if it works? So there's that. By the way, I'm going to link all of these places in the description below. So if you want to check out all of these services, then please check them in the description below. Next up is Flowdesk. So that is my email subscription service. Right now I'm on the 50% off plan. I think the original price is like about $40 a month. And I have 50% off. So again, I have my affiliate link below. You're not going to be able to see this 50% off unless you're recommended by somebody or your referral. So definitely take advantage of that in the description below. I love Flowdesk. It makes all of my emails super beautiful. So I highly recommend it. It saves me so much time. I used to be with a competitor. Let's just say their branding has a monkey on it. Not my favorite. I hated sending out newsletters, and now with Flowdesk, I love it so much. All right, $19 a month. Next up, we have Shopify Lite subscription. So I pay $10.50 a month for this. Shopify Lite is what I use to link my shop on my website. So www.madeonsundays.com is my website, and I have a shop section. All of the links that basically it's the buy button. So once you click on any of the buy buttons in my shop, that will link automatically to my Shopify Lite account where I created all my listings, and then they take care of payment and all of that stuff. So I pay $10.50 a month to create those buy buttons on my Show It website. Next up is my Canva subscription. So this is actually Canva Pro subscription. So Canva is definitely a free platform to use, and they have great free options, but when you go pro, you can't go back. You get your branding kit, all that stuff. I love Pro. I love Canva. I use it all day, even as a professional graphic designer. I create templates. I have a template shop, and I create a lot of custom templates for my clients on Canva. So I recommend all of my clients to go on Canva Pro. It's $10 a month. I pay on an annual basis. So every time there is a subscription service that allows you to pay annual, and I know I will be using it for the rest of the year, I always pay it all in one go annually because you usually save money quite a bit, but also then you don't have to see that recurring expense every month, which I hate. Next up is Loom, which is what I'm using to film this video right now. You see this little bubble here where I'm in, and then you see a screenshot of my desktop. I pay $7.50 a month. I definitely know there are free options out there to kind of do this, but with Loom, I love it because it saves all of my videos on the cloud, and then it creates a link automatically, and it's super fast. And I use Loom to communicate with my clients on a day-to-day basis. So because we are in different time zones, it's just so much easier for me to film a presentation like this and then link it to them. And then I don't have to worry about downloading a video, sending a big file. They have to download a file just to watch the video. It doesn't make sense. It's streamed on the cloud. So I love it, and I happily pay that every month, $7.50, again on an annual plan. So I save, I think it's usually $10 a month or something. Show It subscription. Show It is my preferred website platform that I use for my website and for my clients. It's a website builder. It's amazing. I pay $24 a month. Again, I'm on the annual subscription, so I do save a couple bucks a month on that. Google Suite, which is, or I think they call it Google Workplace now, but because I've been using them for so long, I'm like on the old plan, which is like a Google, they still call it Google Suite. I pay $5 a month for that, and that gives me my hello@madeonsundays.com email. Oh, and I also pay for my domain there, but I didn't put that in here. So for my domain, I think I pay like maybe $20 a year. So that's so little. That's like $1 a month. So I didn't even put it on this spreadsheet. but do know that you do have to pay for a domain when you're creating a website as well. All right, next up is my Google Suite. Talked about that. Next up is my Google Drive. So I save my files in multiple ways. So as a graphic designer, I have video files, I have photography files, and all of my clients, how I share files with my clients is also through Google Drives. Go on Google if you need cloud space, get on Google Drive. It's super cheap. I think I pay $40 a year, so that totals up to about $333 a month for tons of space, and I'm happy to upgrade once I need more space for that as well. All right, next up is Notion Pro. So Notion, which is how I created this little chart right here. I love Notion. You guys love Notion. I pay for the pro version because I have now transitioned my client portal into Notion. So with Notion Pro, I'm able to invite unlimited guests into these client portals. On the free version, you can pretty much do everything except for inviting unlimited guests. So I just pay like $4 like a month. I think there's an annual plan. So I pay for the annual plan. It comes up to about $4 a month, and it's super cheap to be able to use this basically free client portal, which is awesome. Not free, $4 a month free. All right, next up is Skillshare. I love Skillshare. I take courses on Skillshare all the time. That's how I learned how to edit my videos on Premiere Pro. So I love it. I am subscribed to it for a couple of years now, but I am on this special promo price. So I think Skillshare is actually quite pricey, maybe $20 or $30 a month typically. But I right now only pay $5 a month because one tip, well, not really a tip, this was on accident. So basically I wanted to end my subscription last year because I wanted to take a break on Skillshare because I knew it was gonna be a very busy month coming up. I decided to go through the flow to quit, and then I realized that they had this promo price for like crazy. It was like $40 or $30 or something like that a month for the whole year. And then I was like, yeah, if I'm just gonna pay 30 or 40 bucks for the whole year, I'm back on. So now I'm back on this promo price, but I do have 40% off affiliate link for Skillshare. So I'm gonna share that below. So you can take advantage of that 40% off for the year as well. All right, next up is my bookkeeper. So I don't have an accountant, but I do have a bookkeeper that's super, super affordable. She basically does, I create my spreadsheet and I track all of my income expenses, and then I give her that spreadsheet every quarter, and my business is in Europe, so I have to report VAT taxes every quarterly, as well as I have to report my income taxes every year, once a year. So that comes up to approximately $50 a quarter. So I just did the math, around $12.50 a month that I pay for my bookkeeper. All right, next up is font licenses. As a graphic designer, I have to design with a lot of fonts. So I pay for my fonts. That comes up to about $30 to $50 a month on just fonts alone. Every time I do a client project, I actually pay for the licenses that they use for their brand fonts for myself as well, because legally I need to pay for that in order to use it on any kind of design platform. So font licenses, as well as sometimes like assets. So I also pay for like graphic assets and stuff on top of fonts, but I put it all in that kind of category right there. So those are all of kind of my monthly expenses that are pretty constant every month. The next section here are like fees that are dependent on my sales or dependent on the projects that I have that I'm working on that month. So these are probably actually the most expensive fees. These are like kind of bits and bobs here and there, like monthly subscriptions. But this section right here are probably the most expensive expenses that I pay every month that I can't really share because it really just depends on whether I have a lot of sales that month or how many projects I have going on that month. So first up is Stripe fees. It is 2.9%. Plus a 25% per transaction. So for every invoice, I use Stripe as my payment platform for sending out invoices to my clients. So the invoicing part is actually free. They just charge you 2.9% on the total of the project price that you're sending out. So let's say I'm doing a project for $1,000, then 2.9% plus 25 cents will be charged by Stripe fees. So this can add up to a lot depending on how much I'm making that month. It could go up from $100 to thousands of dollars a month. So you can't really like hide from transaction fees. It's basically the fee that you pay to allow your clients or whoever you're sending your contracts to or invoices to pay with credit card. It's a credit card fee. So that's just a typical business expense that you need to make sure that you know. It's just like a mandatory fee basically that everybody pays to allow transactions. All right, so next up is Etsy fees. So Etsy, I have an Etsy shop where I sell digital goods. So I don't really have necessarily like expenses for, every transaction. Like I'm not selling a physical product, so there's no material there. But the fees that I do pay are my listing fees, my payment processing fee, as well as a 5% transaction fee for every sale that I make. So the more sales that I make on Etsy, the more fees that I pay in this section. So that also can depend on how many sales I have that month. That can add up to a couple hundred as well. Copywriter. So I have a copywriter on my team. So this price, I'm not going to share, but basically every project that I contract out to her to do copywriting, I pay her like a couple hundred to a couple thousand, depending on how many projects I need help on from her. So that's also a huge expense that I pay every month, but these are expenses that like I only pay if I make sales or if I make money. So it's just part of business. Like I want these expenses because it means that I have more sales or I have more income coming in. So yep, that is another expense to be cognizant of. And then the last section here are expenses that are kind of like assets in my company that I use over time, right? So in order to make these videos and in order to run an online business, I have to have a MacBook or a laptop of any sort. I actually just bought the new MacBook M1 Pro, and oh my gosh, look at the quality of this video. I am obsessed. So I did splurge on that, but because I don't have like an expensive camera that I use, like I rely on my laptop as well as my iPhone that I have to film all of these videos. So all my videos are filmed on either my iPhone or on my MacBook here. So they also speak to each other. I also have an iPad, so where I use Procreate. So it's just easy to be in one ecosystem for me. So I kind of splurge on the Apple system so that they can all speak to each other and file transfer is super fast and easy. So those are expenses that I pay one time and then kind of calculated over the years, or used over the years, I guess. And then the last one I have are hard drives. So not only do I save all of my documents and past assets and creative files on the cloud on Google Drive, but I also save everything on a hard drive. So just depends, like hard drive prices, there's a huge range of it. I pay approximately $150 and I use that over a couple of years or over 1 year, depending on how much I need stored that year. So I didn't include any of these totals into the total just because these just fluctuate up and down. But for my constant monthly expenses, the grand total is $270.83 is how much constant expenses that I have every month. And then on top of that, depending on how many projects, how many sales I make, I pay like upwards to a few $100 to $1,000 in fees and expenses. But again, those are just expenses that I pay when I have a new project, when I make more money. So those are like really good expenses that you really I can't really save on those expenses. All right, so that's it. Did anything surprise you? Do you feel like I spend a lot or very little compared to your business or what you expect from your business in the future? I am so curious. Please leave your comments below and let me know what, if anything, surprised you. Quite honestly, I think I did a really good job with keeping my expenses down, especially in these first few years of business. I know as my business grows and I get more clients and more sales, I'm definitely going to be paying more in order to, automate some things and get more help. But for now, I think I'm able to handle a lot of the things in my business admin-wise manually, and so I pay for a lot of these subscriptions in order to make it fast and easy for me to do that. But yeah, I'm going to be linking all of my affiliate links in the description below for all of the services that I talked about today. Definitely no pressure to use them, but if you want to support my business and support this channel, some of the links below will give me a small little couple of dollars here and there so that I can pay for some of these expenses that I showed you today. I would be so grateful if you do use my affiliate links. This video is not sponsored by anybody, so I'm honestly just sharing like everything that I use every month that I love, and I hope you found this helpful. If you're starting a business or maybe you just started your business and you're trying to see what other people are spending or what you can expect to spend if you start a graphic design business or any kind of service-based business, really, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and found something that could help you with your journey. All right, so if you love this video, please like this video, subscribe, and remember to hit that notification bell to get updates on new videos that come up. I will see you in the next video. Bye!
I